conquerors began to come in, these missionaries brought their religious traditions from the West. And so those who claim to be Christians, they're more concerned about tradition than what the Bible says. And so it's created a great challenge as we've gone to these small villages trying to share the gospel. And then if you look at beyond the religious challenges, in this region, the government says that at least 60% of the population lives below the poverty line. But as we go to these communities, you see that it's far worse than that. Many people are suffering because they don't have access to education, to healthcare, to jobs. And the desire is to see transformation happen not only in the religion, but in every sphere of their life. In the last 50 years, Cancun has become famous as it was founded as a tourist destination. But the problem is that new resources, those new finances that have come in, have caused a lot of problems. Cancun is rated #1 in Mexico for suicide, for divorce. It is also one of the higher locations for drug addiction and alcoholism in the entire nation. And so getting finances doesn't solve the problem. It's God who's coming in who transforms people. So what is God's heart in this process? Thankfully, Dallas already explained what these words mean, so I don't have to do that for you guys. You did a wonderful job, Dallas. But God's heart for humanity is, he acknowledges their brokenness. He recognizes that humanity is broken. But his desire is to restore creation to a right relationship with him. This is a theme that we can see throughout the entire Bible. In Luke 19:10, Jesus says, "For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost." In Psalms 34:18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit." God's heart is to see restoration. God's heart is to see people drawn back into a relationship with him. And he wants to have that. And as we look at his desire for this justice and restoration for all mankind, we are challenged to ask, how can we participate in this process? And it requires a holistic approach. We can't go in only sharing the gospel. We must come in with much more than what the religious sphere can offer. We must come in and touch the hearts of people and address the whole community, the whole individual. We must be able to impact with the 7 spheres of society. Because if we are not doing that, we will not see the transformation that is necessary. So I began to do a survey in this process, and I questioned 106 people in the Yucatan Peninsula from small villages. It was men, women, Christians, non-Christians, all different ages. And I just asked them 20 basic questions. And I asked them, in your area, have you ever had missionaries come and serve in the past? And what was the response? Did they leave a good impact in your area, yes or no? And the majority said that every missionary that has come has blessed their community. And so they have this positive outlook of what missionaries can do. And so another question I asked is, are you willing for new missionaries to come in and to work with you? And the overwhelming 94% expressed, we want missionaries to come in. We want people to come and work with us. We do. And we also want to see discipleship happening to bring. And we also want to see discipleship happening to bring a spiritual transformation. And this is respondents who, many of them were not Christian, but they have been able to see and witness what God can do in other people's lives. Another thing that really surprised me, but excited me at the same time, because it pushed me down further into my thesis and what I wanted to work in, is I asked them about the effectiveness of short-term missions versus long-term missions. And they said for spreading the gospel, short-term missions is great. But they said for transformation, a Christ-centered transformation to happen in our community, we need long-term missionaries. And so it was something that challenged me to continue to dig deeper and see what it is that we can do as an organization to bring transformation. So as I began walking through this, I decided to come up with a 5-step program. Now, having extension locations is nothing new in YWAM. I don't know what it might be called in your region, but extension locations are honestly something that is overlooked in many YWAM bases. As I've talked the last 21 years to different YWAMers, as I've worked in YWAM, many people have come through our doors and moved on. And when I ask them, why are you moving on? Do you not have a calling? They almost always respond, I have a calling, but I don't have a place. Many of them are wanting to serve long-term, but not within the traditional sense of a base location. Many of them want to go out into the mission field, into the small communities, but they are unaware of the opportunities within YWAM to do that. And so my heart is to promote extension locations, which creates opportunities for them to serve long-term without being disconnected to YWAM. They love YWAM, they love the values of YWAM, they just don't know they have a place within YWAM. And so the first part of this process, the phase one, is vision alignment. Let people know that they can serve long-term through YWAM. Not everyone is called to be a base leader. Not everyone is called to run DTSs, but we are all called to serve in one form or another. Some individuals are great at getting their hands-on work done in a community and through their life example changing the community around them. So the first step is vision alignment. Let people know of the possibilities that are out there. The second step is training them and equipping them. This could take a year, it could take 2 years, but the idea is to train them up in cultural skills, language skills, in Bible study, how to disciple in a secondary language, in ways that they can serve the community around them. The third step is to send out these teams. What I don't want to see is teams to be isolated. So as we send them out, we want to create a connection between YWAM Cancun as a hub to these extension locations. And that would be continuing into the fourth step, this ongoing support. If we can support these individuals, they will be able to persevere for this long-term time. We want to be there to pray for them, to send leaders to visit them, to send teams, to be a resource for them, to provide this connection to others. One of the hardest things is to be an isolated missionary, to feel like you are the only one serving. So my desire is to create that central hub where we can support those who are doing God's work and God's calling in these remote communities. And the fifth step, it would lead to sustainability and multiplication. And so the desire of my heart is to see YWAM take advantage of extension locations